Another misstep for Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth as the Rupert Murdoch-owned Wall Street Journal puts out a negative story about him. Again, let's discuss. I'm Dave Aronberg, former state attorney for Palm Beach County, a.k.a. the Florida LawMan here on Legal AF. Thank you for all your support. Thank you for hitting that subscribe button. We appreciate your support as we continue to provide you these videos where we meet at the intersection of law and politics. And let's talk about Pete Hegseth, the controversial Secretary of Defense. According to the Wall Street Journal, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth's string of missteps has spurred infighting inside the Pentagon and raised concern among some Republicans on Capitol Hill about his ability to run the department. You think? Remember, this is after the whole incident on Signal. Remember, they gave up attack plans inside a chat room. And then you had issues of him allegedly drinking when he's supposed to not be drinking. And you had all these controversies about people who work for him departing and chaos inside of DOD, a massive government agency. And here's the latest. The problems are rooted in Hegseth's lack of managerial experience in overseeing an entity anywhere near as large as the Pentagon, which employs around 3.4 million people on a budget now approaching $1 trillion, according to current and former officials. White House officials. Remember, this is not now members of Congress. This is not members of the public. These are people inside the White House, the Trump White House, where they demand complete loyalty, and Hegseth is completely loyal to the president. Well, even they are now frustrated because, according to the Rupert Murdoch-owned Wall Street Journal, they're frustrated by Hegseth's refusal to part with his acting chief of staff, despite their misgivings about the aide's qualifications. According to current and former administration officials, some blame poor Pentagon staff work for leaving Trump in the dark about a pause in some weapons deliveries for Ukraine. Some of these people said Hegseth is feuded with top generals and fired 3 senior aides that were well liked to the White House. Now let's talk about the Ukraine issue, because Hegseth put a halt on important weapons that are supposed to be delivered to Ukraine, and the Trump administration had to defend that. Well, it turns out Trump and members of administration didn't know about this halt. Not that they've ever been that supportive of Ukraine anyways, but they didn't know that Hegseth on his own put a halt to this, and that created a rumble amongst even the Republicans on Capitol Hill. So that was another strike against Hegseth. Well, on Thursday, Senate Republicans led by Mitch McConnell attempted to rescue the Pentagon from what they considered an insufficient budget request that they blame in part on Hegseth. Some Republican lawmakers are concerned that Hegseth's loss of top aides has left him especially ill-equipped to run the Defense Department. I mean, this is a really important job, and they gave it to a Fox TV host to run this immense bureaucracy, and it's not running well. It's just not. That's why there's talk now that Hegseth is going to run for office, going to leave to run for statewide office. We'll get to that in a minute. Here's an anecdote that really tells you about the mistrust going on. After reports emerged that Hegseth had invited Elon Musk to a meeting with the Joint Chiefs in the Pentagon, Hegseth shifted the meeting to a small sit-down in his office, but deliberately didn't inform the top brass of the change, 2 former officials said. Remember, he has become distrustful of top military leadership. So he's trying to cut these deals or have conversations in private with Elon Musk. And the Joint Chiefs, they filed into the secure room for what they thought was a briefing with Musk. The tech billionaire rode in Hegseth's private elevator to his office. The officers didn't realize Musk wasn't coming until halfway through their gathering in the tank. More recently, Hegseth blocked the promotion to 4-star of General Douglas Sims, the director of the Joint Staff. Current and former officials said Sims declined to comment, and he retired Friday at the 3-star rank, according to U.S. officials. So then you have McConnell out there who's trying to save Hegseth from himself by making sure that his budget numbers would not be a cut because they didn't do their budget right. And so, for example, Hegseth's budget request apparently didn't account for inflation. And so he had to edit Hegseth's own budget request. It sounds like amateur hour. So perhaps that's why, according to NBC News, that Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has privately discussed the idea of running for political office next year in Tennessee. So that would be the soft landing, the easy out, the ability to save face. Isn't that what Vivek Ramaswamy did? That's what he did after he left Doge, because he and Elon didn't get along. But it was really so he could run for office back in Ohio, right? Okay. Yeah, it's always about the show for these guys. It's like, instead of taking your lumps, it's just making sure that you've got the big smile in front of the cameras and everything is according to plan, right? According to NBC News, if Hegseth were to follow through on the discussions, it would amount to a major leadership change in the department that oversees the American military and millions of federal employees. The Defense Department had bans. They bar civilian employees from running for political office, meaning Hegseth would have to resign to do so. One of the people said their discussion with Hegseth happened within the past 3 weeks, and that it was serious, not simply spitballing ideas. The other person, who also characterized it as serious, wouldn't say when they had spoken, except that it was since Hegseth became Defense Secretary in January. So, there we have it. I mean, you have the Pentagon in disarray. You have their budget numbers messed up, forcing Mitch McConnell to fix it for them. You have generals and other senior military officials resigning or being pushed out. You have scandals like the scandal over the attack plans being put on Signal. You have the issues of the morale in the department. And you have, of course, Ukraine, where you had weapons that were supposed to get there that were delayed and even stopped by one person without the knowledge of his superiors. I mean, the whole thing is just very unusual, and it's a dysfunctional Pentagon. And now you have the prospect of Pete Hegseth, newly in his job, leaving to run for statewide office in Tennessee. We'll keep following it here on Legal AF. We'll see if that happens, and we'll keep bringing you the latest. I'm Dave Aronberg, a.k.a. the Florida LawMan. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, share with a friend, and leave a comment below. Thank you for all your support. Thank you for hitting that subscribe button. I hope that it comes up now. Here, it's supposed to come up when I point like that. And I'll see you next time.
Can't get your fill of Legal AF? Me neither. That's why we formed the Legal AF Substack. Every time we mention something in a hot take, whether it's a court filing or a oral argument, come over to the Substack. You'll find the court filing and the oral argument there, including a daily roundup that I do called, wait for it, Morning AF. What else? All the other contributors from Legal AF are there as well. We got some new reporting. We got interviews. We got ad-free versions of the podcast and hot takes. Where? Legal AF on Substack. Come over now to free subscribe.